Guys, I'm going to coat this sand cement wall here behind me. First and second coat, show you just basically the way I go about it. Walls are a bit tall, so need a wee ladder or a big hop up, but that'll do for this one. It's a high wall. It's not an awkward wall, as you see. There's only 2 sockets, and then it's a pretty square wall. I'm going to do that wall, and then I'm going to do this wall here as well. But for the video, just going to stick this wall, just show you the way I get it all coated. Okay guys, so I've got a board here full of plaster, gypsum plaster, Carlite. It's the exact same as multi really, only better. So the way I start is obviously a Hawken trowel, just using a refiner trowel, stainless steel. A bit easier to clean, harder to break in, but where I start guys is always top left, and then I work all the way along the top first, and that'll be the same when I come to troweling. Technically, it doesn't really matter where you start. You can start at the bottom if you really want it for coating, but then when you're troweling, you're going to want to start where I am now, because you're going to be pulling dirty water down the wall, and that will give you extra work. So when you come to trowel, this is the way you'll be starting. Obviously if you're right-handed, if you're left-handed, it'll be slightly different, completely opposite really. And just make sure that meets it. Stay on. Again, with your first coat, some people say just slap it on quick, but we like to still try and keep it neat. So it's easier to coat a wall that you've floated, guys, than a poorly boarded wall or ceiling, or just an old wall that's a wee bit bad shape. But a wall like this that's been floated out normally is very nice to coat over, because it's nice and flat and smooth. There might be the odd hole, but it's straight and flat is the main thing. Again, a question I would have got quite often would be, do you need to PVA the walls? And with sand and cement, no guys. That's the whole reason them lines are all in it. Devil floated they call it. As my mate Dave would say, God floating. He puts the devil out of it. So, again, I like to pull across like that and down, and then finish with it across, because that keeps your angles from curving. Nearly have the top on already, guys. Not a massive wall, just a bit awkward with the height. Big ladder. But back to what I was saying there with the PVA. So you don't need to PVA it. Obviously, if you floated it, 2 or 3 weeks ago, you probably want to dampen it all down. And usually what we would do, if the wall, what we call, is hot, so if it's dried out too much, we would dampen the whole thing down, scrape it all, dampen it down, and then get our mix and stuff ready. And by then, it's not too wet, it's sucked into the wall, and it means it won't pull the plaster in, and the plaster won't dry too quick on you. And that's the main thing, guys, with plastering, is always being in control of the setting times, the suction. It's also why I would try to coat neatly. What I was saying, some plasters say just lash on the first coat and don't worry about it. But we like to keep it neat, as little lines as possible. And that means your second coat will go on a lot easier. Which is another thing as well, guys, is it's actually hard to pick that up with the camera, because I don't leave too many lines in the wall, so it's hard to sort of judge what the second coat's doing. But second coat is very important, because like I said, they're controlling suction. You put your first coat on, it will pull in. You maybe put a wall or two on. The first coat will tighten up, and then you can go and mix another bit. Sometimes if we have stuff left over, we do just second coat with the same stuff. It's not a big deal, but it will set that wee tiny bit quicker. Just gonna move my ladders over to the next wall. Now, with this being a new build, we have a bit of play at the floor. And what I mean by that is, this floor is going to come up about, I don't know, about 10 inches nearly. So if I stopped here, I would still be underneath the skirt. But to make it easy for the insulation to go in, we like to kind of go right down. Keep it neat as well, and then that just makes everything at the bottom a bit more flush and easy to square up your insulation for the floor. So I think this floor is going to have like 6 inches of insulation down, and then probably about 2-3 inches of a liquid screed. If you were doing a dry screed, you'd be going for at least 3 inches anyway. So again, you can see what I'm doing. I'm pulling out and then I'm coming up on that corner. This wee wire here is giving me a bit of problems because it keeps sticking out. Again, these wires, none of them are live, so I can stick my hand in there and not worry about getting killed. Where if you were doing a renovation type job, guys, make sure all the electric is off. Again, the consistency of the stuff, it's actually a real nice mix, that one. Nice and thick, not too thick. It's still nice and spreadable, as you can see, but it's not, you know, it's not really coming off the trowel that easy. So that's what you want, especially if you're still learning, picking the trade up. It's great for coating. Some plasters like mixing their first coat a wee bit tighter and then the second coat a wee bit lighter, and it helps them tidy it up as well. Again, any of these stones that you might get off your board or the bucket or off the floor, pick them out. Otherwise later on, when you're troweling up, that will become an issue. So again, I'm at this corner, guys. I want to pull up and then I'm going to pull out. Just make sure you fill your corners in with. Again, the tighter you are now, the easier the next coat will be. And then the easier the next coat and tighter it is, the easier your troweling up processes will be. That's it all first coated. I'll show you up close, guys. Still a wee bit wet, but gonna be okay to get the fresh stuff over the top of it here now. Again, going to start top left, top right, bottom left. The bottom right because I'm right-handed. Well, mostly right-handed. Could probably plaster this wall from the left hand if I tried, but for this video, I'll try and keep it professional. So I'm going to drop this trowel now, give it a wee wash. It's getting there, it's nearly fully broken, but I'm dropping it for the other refiner. It's much more broken in. The difference is just leave that little bit less lines, and it just makes it easier. Again, I could do the whole wall of this, but why not make it easy when I have the opportunity? And That's why you break trowels in, guys, so you can not use them for the satin cement and then use the good ones for the skimming. So again, I'm going to start up there, top left, for the second coat. And for this one, you'll want to be as neat as possible, just in case, you know, stuff sets on you. Sometimes plaster sets a lot quicker than you predicted. Again, that can be to do with the temperature and the suction. So all these things you'll have to learn. If you want to be a plasterer, guys, you'll have to learn to control suction. Again, temperatures, they have a big effect. The environment has a big effect on what's going on with the plaster. Such as I have the window open over there because we're mixing. So it's letting a bit of fresh air in. But a nice wee breeze across a wall that you're skimming will dry it up quicker, guys. So it will speed you up. Again, if it's really hot and warm, would speed you up. Again, we touched already on backgrounds, and you can already see, guys, this trowel is not leaving just as much lines as the first one was. I'll just show this corner up close to you and let you see the other side. So you can see that's just a wee bit neater than that, isn't it? So you tend to get them lines a wee bit more on a trowel. It's not broken in, whereas a trowel that's broken in, that looks pretty good already. Again, there's a big process to go yet. There's a flattening and then 2 or 3 wet trowels and then maybe a wee dry trowel just to double check. And obviously keeping that angle clean, and these ones clean as well because we're going to be skimming in. And you want to make sure that when they're skimmed in, you have no big lumps on them and you don't have to sit and scrape. Just flip this around there so you get a better angle of what I'm doing. Again, touched on this type of method of coating on previous videos, but you kind of want to go as low as you can when you're up high, guys, so when you're down low you're not stretching too much. You end up with a sore back from stretching, so you do. So again, I pull down off the top angle. I'm trying to keep it simple for you. Just pull down. And when you see me going back up, I'm actually taking the stuff nearly off the trowel like that and then coming back. So you can see a big lump possibly there and then coming back up to it. But what I was saying was, you want to make sure you come across there, and that stops any sort of bell casty hooks on the angle and keeps the angle as square as possible. Look at that, guys. Nice and neat and tidy. That's what you want to be doing. That's what you're aiming for. Again, very awkward with ladders because they take up so much room in a bit of a small area. But you'll notice as well that I haven't really loaded the hog from the middle of that wall, and the reason for that is, guys, your second coat doesn't tend to take as much. So the way we normally work it is whatever 2 bags would cover as a 1 coat, say, 1 bag would usually second coat that, and you'd probably have a wee hawk left over just in case anything needs, you know, if you look down an angle and thought, oh, I need an extra wee bit just to fill that out nicer so it's straighter. And you might need to pull a straight edge on something. That extra wee hawk will at times pull you out of a big hole. Usually what we do with that hawk full is, once we have everything sort of flattened in and we know that there is no more what ifs, and that hawk full can go on to a reveal or a head or something, so we're not wasting it. And that's just me checking I can reach what I've coated down. Guys, now we're at the very bottom of the wall, which again, this is a bit handier because we have skirting going on and a floor going on, so we have a wee bit of play on the bottom. of this wall. But let me just show you a couple of wee things, a couple of wee tricks. Again, you might not always have a floor going in, you might not always be working to a subfloor here. So you don't want, see what I'm doing here? Guys, that can happen. It's called a bell cast. And you do not want that, that's a big no-no. So again, what you want to do is, you will want to put your stuff on up the way, but then you want to pull that off, and you can see that it's actually on the trowel there. And again, you use that again anyway, so it's not wasted. Just square off that bottom, and the joiner will love you. Look, nice and square both ways. So you're troweling, you're pushing the stuff on in two different directions. Right, so guys, just really going to finish off the video here. That's the last couple of hawk fills. Wee bit of satisfying for you, just watching it going on possibly. But yeah, it's very hard making a video while you're plastering, trying to make the walls good. Especially when the joiner's up there making noise, and I had to say to mate up to tell him to shut up, you know. I'm trying to make a video for you, and he's up there tangling walls. I don't know what he's doing. But yeah, here we are guys. Just finishing off the second coat. And you can see there is a big difference between the trowels, but again, that's also experience, because I am purposefully trying to be near, because I know the plaster sets, and you want it to set when it's tidy, not when it's all these big lumps and lines. You know, see that line, guys? You don't want to be leaving lines like that, look. You want to be getting it smooth. And what you probably noticed there was the line ended up on the far side of the trowel. That will be, I'm not going to do that today, but that would be the way you would be troweling up. You'd be leaving it to the far side, like so. See the way the line's on the opposite side of the trowel there. So I'll just, for demonstration, you would be leaving it to that side, not to the front, and then again working out the way constant. This is what you don't want. I'm going to be leaving that line, guys. I'm only trying to take them out. Again, we're just covering the basics here of coating, because this is where plastering starts. Every wall has to be coated. Probably one of the most important things. Now guys, don't forget as well, keep that clean, otherwise the joiner will then be coming down shouting at us. Or the boy putting the insulation in might be too happy. The big bumpy wall. I'll try and make the next tradesman's life easier. Same as these sockets, guys, you need to cut them out once the wall's set. So again, the neater you coat, the easier it will be to work them sockets out. Again, we cut them out after we render, so that they're easy broke away. Most times I use a knife around them, and it looks real tidy and sharp. Or a wee chisel, wee wood chisel, and just carve it out that way. So there we are, guys. That's basically coming to the end of this video here. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it helped answer a load of questions that I do get asked quite a lot about the background and tools and trowels, stuff that you use in plaster. But this plaster is literally no different than multi-skin, bar it's a bit finer, it's a lot less grainy, so I find it does work in better. But yeah guys, you can see how tidy that is. And again, don't forget, come up and then come across to tidy it. But as you can see guys, everything's getting pretty tidy, and now I'm gonna stick the rest of that on that wall. So guys, everything I showed you there is the cornerstone to be able to do plastering like this. This is actually already painted, and top half that's painted. And here's the floor. in, so you can see the depth that you lose. So everything I was talking about, you see that, and then we're going to have skirting. We're going to have another 3 inches of floor. Then you have skirting, so you'll be way up. Be way up. So it is, doing new builds is got its benefits compared to some renovation type jobs. But look at that ceiling, guys. It's came in pretty well. That's only 1 coat of paint, mind you. Same around that arch, it's only 1 coat of paint. He's went for a colour that, you know, you can, on the camera, from my angle, I can't see much difference there. Same as up there. Maybe if we go close, you can see the paint. But yeah, this, everything I showed you is, it's if you want to be able to accomplish stuff like this, we have a nice stampede on there that you can sort of see. And what that does is it divides, so you can paint these walls. That's nice and level. You can paint them walls different colour than the ceiling. But all the fundamentals I just showed, guys, you need to know them before you can complete beautiful jobs like this. Whoever did the architect here is absolute brilliant guy or woman. Absolute beautiful, beautiful work. An absolute lovely room. Very hard to plaster. Even for a person that's been at it for 20 odd years, very, very hard to plaster, guys. Very hard to keep these big, massive walls straight and keep everything looking really clean. So again, you need to know how to do the small stuff and then you can do the bigger stuff.
What we do in life echoes in eternity.
Like and subscribe to Plastering.